Oh, no, I don't want to mute either.
Good morning, guys. How many are on yet? Do we know?
44.
44. Okay, perfect. Let's give it just another minute. Okay, well, we're at 50 participants and it's 11:01, so we'll go ahead and get started. I just want to thank you all for joining me. These are definitely different times that we're in. None of us have ever experienced anything like this before. And I just thought that since the governor came out on Wednesday with some new regulations and requirements, that it would be a good opportunity for us to talk about it. I know there's a lot of things going around, a lot of different just some misinformation. So we want to make sure that everybody in Red River is all on the same page and that we're putting out the same kind of information to our guests and to our locals. But, you know, the first thing I guess I'd like to remind everybody is that the most important thing we can do right now is to stay safe. And the way we do that is by acting like you have the virus and everybody you come in contact with has the virus. So that's going to involve, you know, all the stuff we've heard over and over and we probably dream about, but hand washing, social distancing, masks are now being required by the governor, by the public health order, and staying at home. So the stay at home order is still in place, which is a little confusing to me because we have a stay-at-home order in place, but yet we can go out and go to retail stores now and all that. So I think what that means to me is if you feel like you're in the vulnerable population, it's very important that you stay at home. So everybody is just going to have to use their own best judgment to take care of themselves. So I'm going to go through a lot of information here, but I promise I'm going to give everybody time and we're going to answer questions. And I'm here as long as you guys have questions and can stand to listen to me. So to start out about some of the new requirements, the biggest one, I guess the most different one is that starting tomorrow, the public health order says that masks are required when you're out of your house. Now, the position of the town on this is we will partner with the state and we will encourage everyone to follow the state regulations. But our authority ends with enforcement. So we will not be issuing citations for anybody out and about not wearing a mask. I would also encourage you not to call 911 and tell them that so-and-so doesn't have a mask on. 911 is for emergencies, and that COVID violations right now do not rise to the level of emergencies for our short staff that we have to handle those. So please use discretion on that. And that pretty much applies to all COVID violations. So we don't issue citations for those, and we are not in the enforcement realm for COVID violations. So we will encourage everyone to follow those regulations, but we will not be enforcing those as a town. So the stay at home is still in effect. Nothing has changed for restaurants, unfortunately. It's still takeout and delivery only. The two things that have changed as far as the lodging aspect, in the original, condos were considered short-term rentals and they could not be rented. We got word this morning that they have changed the wording on that. I don't even know if it's been put out yet, but we have been really pushing hard to see those taken out of the short-term rentals and put in with hotels and motels. So all the condominiums, as long as they are in one area and they have a central check-in, can be considered as motels and hotels. So all of the condominium complexes can be rented at 25% occupancy. On the short-term rentals, they originally wanted those for health professionals only. Now they're going to open up those to in-state residents. So short-term rentals, which is our property management companies, still can't be rented to out-of-state guests. But with that being said, we cannot prohibit our property owners to come up and stay in their properties. So we will have people from Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas and Arizona staying at houses in the Upper Valley and in town. And there is nothing wrong with that. So, you know, if you see a car at a house with an out-of-state license, we have no way of knowing if that's a rental or if it's a property owner. So 25% for the lodging, 20% for grocery stores, 25% for retail. So we will be seeing people in town. We saw an increase last weekend. We'll see an increase this weekend. And then with Memorial Weekend, the next, we're going to see a huge increase. So we're preparing for Memorial Weekend. We will have 2 sheriff deputies that will be in town because we are anticipating a pretty big spike of riders during the day. There will be 2 state police officers that will be in the circle just because of the increased motorcycles that will be on the road. The other things that we're going to be doing, we do have our hand washing stations ordered. Those should be in town any day. We are trying to get the extra sanitizing stations. We're going to be putting picnic tables in the park. We're going to put as many as we can at a safe distance so that when the riders come in or people come in to get their food to dine and eat, to take out, they don't have to sit on the sidewalk or they don't have to sit in their car, but we'll have an area that they can go and sit down and eat. So we're trying to do everything we can to make it as inviting as we can, but still stay within the regulations. We are in stage 2 fire restrictions. So I apologize. I read through those yesterday, but I don't have all of those in front of me. So no campfires in the forest, staying on the trails. So that's going to be another restriction that we would be having, COVID or not. But we're kind of used to dealing with different situations that come up. So that's what we do. I want to talk just a little bit about the misinformation that's going out. I know KLB did a little faux pas with us yesterday. April had a great interview with them. And out of the wonderful interview, they decided to pull out that we were not encouraging guests to come right now. Well, if you listen to the interview, that was never said. And so April has reached out to Steve Solis, who did the interview, and that little tagline has been changed. It's still out there on some of the posts that were shared, but we're doing our best to mitigate that because that is not the position that the town is taking. So it is so easy, and I know we talked about this the last time, when you're looking at social media to kind of have the mindset that it's just you and the computer, but it's not. It's you and the entire world, all of your friends, all of your friends' friends, and it just grows exponentially. So just an offhanded remark that you think is funny at the time, that's derogatory towards our tourists, towards each other, does more harm than I can ever stress to you. So now more than ever is the time when we need to realize that we are a community. We're a community of people. We're not a community of social media anonymous people, but we're people. And the people that look at our Facebook post, they're not in Red River, and we are, and they want to be here. And they don't want us to be telling them that we don't want them here and to stay home. I mean, we need to be putting out the message that we're following all of the public health regulations right now. And we're doing everything we can to be safe and to keep them safe. And they can travel at the regulations that we're at in phase 1A. They can go to our retail stores, they can get food, they can eat in our parks, they can shop, they can fish, they can hike. They can rent ROVs, they can rent bicycles, they can rent surreys. All of that is perfectly acceptable. But we just can't be full at 100%. So if I could just, if you hear nothing else today, nothing, be kind. Because the things that are said now can tarnish our reputation of being such a family-friendly, fun community for months, if not years. And, you know, when I'm talking to the governor and saying, this is killing our community, you know, what's happening now, tourism is not going to bounce back. It's going to take us months to get past this. And so we've got that that we're up against. So let's not be our own worst enemies. If anything, let's just be kind, okay? So I think that's all I had to say. So we'll open it up to questions. I think, Sybil, can everybody unmute themselves, or do you have to do it?
They should be able to do it themselves.
Okay, and I'll look at the chat. So let me start with the chat real quick, and then we'll, if you guys want to just kind of wave at me. Can condominium properties rent out to out-of-state guests? Yes. Condominium properties are considered exactly as motel hotels. That was changed today. They're still working on the wording, but what I was told is that it will say facilities co-located with central check-in desk will be treated as a hotel. So I expect that to be coming out, you know, soon with that revision. Are there any updates on the free sanitizer soap dispensers and the large sanitizer refill jugs availability? So I believe if you ordered the sanitizer from Burco, and I don't know if they even have it, but they do provide the soap dispensers. And then the state has a website. It's nmcovid19.org. And if you go there, they have an entire list of vendors within the area or the state that are that have sanitizer, mask, all of those supplies available. And if you have any trouble getting that, we'll make sure and send that link out to everybody after we get done here. Clarification on campfires on private property. Propane fire pits, I think, have always been available. I don't think those are ever restricted. As far as campfires on private property, the town has not implemented any fire restrictions. So I believe the campfires would just be prohibited within the forest. And anybody jump in and correct me if I get this wrong. Okay, are recreation businesses under the same rules at retail? I don't think so. And that again, that's just my guess. And that's all you guys are going to get right now is my opinion. So just take it for what it's worth. But whenever the retail was restricted to curbside only, what they were telling us is that as far as bicycles, OHV rentals, all of that, as long as you could check them in or they could buy those services at curbside, then you could do the rentals. I see absolutely no reason why you can't rent every single bicycle or ATV or horse that you have, because you're going to be out in the woods and you're going to be social distancing. So until we hear different, I would say go for it. We ordered from Burco. He said it will be arriving any day. That came from Vicki Swigert. So everybody, you might want to reach out to the conference center or one of the hotels or the restaurants that orders from Burco and see if you can't piggyback off of that. Okay, Sloan said Taos County's under burn ban. So if you're outside of the municipal limits, then I would say that you can't have a campfire. But within the municipal limit, we are still not under any restrictions. Okay, hang on. Well, owners staying in their own condominium counted in the 25% occupancy. I don't see how we can. I don't see how we can limit a property owner from coming to their property. Okay, please clarify your comment about renting to out-of-state guests during the stage. Will the new language return back to allowing driving guests from other states as it was previously? So apparently the language was never in there to allow out-of-state guests. They are saying that what it was before is that they would allow out-of-state healthcare providers, but that the intent was always to limit out-of-state guests. And now that they are adding in-state guests that you can rent to. But again, I think it needs to be said, I don't know how we regulate that because there are so many homeowners from out of state, and we're going to see out of state license plates parked in front of houses. Will today's Zoom session be available? I believe we are recording this, so it should be available. I'm not real sure when, but we'll find that out. Okay. So Sybil says we're continuing to communicate with suppliers. Burco has our order and will deliver when they have the supplies available. Could you post a video on social media of the welcoming station you just said, the statement? Sure, we can put something together and we'll get it out on social media about the picnic tables and what's open and try to make that real positive. Okay. That's all I'm seeing. So if you guys want to unmute and just talk, we can certainly do that.
Hey, Linda.
Yes.
I unmuted. It's April. Hey, we are putting together a pamphlet like today to that will get out on the listserv for everybody that will talk about all these regulations. Next week when Memorial Weekend comes, we'll have some goodie bags hopefully available to give out to people with masks and sanitizer and the pamphlets. I'm putting together the same kind of information that will go up on our website. We pulled everything else down from our website, so that will go up on our website about the new regulations and restrictions. And that'll also go out on the listserv too, as soon as we get that done.
Okay, and I know the state is supposed to be putting out their CSPs, the COVID safe practices, that all of the different working groups have come together, the industry groups. So I was thinking we were going to get those today, and as soon as we have those, we'll make them available to everybody.
Okay, Linda, I have a question.
Okay,
It says in there that we're closed to inside dining for restaurants. If we have a deck or a patio and they order to go, can they eat on our deck or patio?
I don't believe so. I asked that question this morning, and the comment was that they don't want to encourage lingering at a restaurant for any period of time. And so that's why we're going to try to make as many picnic tables available in the park as we can, so you can point them there where they can still eat outside.
Okay.
We're pushing to have that change. We're pushing as hard as we can.
I have more of a comment to everyone than a question for you. If everyone could just make sure they're giving out the correct information, and I think we owe it to our guests to let them know what's open, what's not open. We had multiple guests this week upset that nothing is open. They said they didn't tell me when I made my reservation, and I know we want to be positive, but I have people call here every day, what's open, what's not. And I said, there's a number of us that are open for restaurants. You can go to the beautiful park and eat. Several retail shops are open. Just be positive about it. But we owe it to our guests to let them know what's going on. I had guests last night wanted to buy masks from us because they didn't come with masks because they didn't know. And I know they should check it out before they come, but they don't. So I think any contact we have with them, we need to give the information that we have to make their experience positive, because we all know the negative people will go back and tell everybody that Red River is horrible and nothing's open, and they'll forget that it's COVID that caused it. And it's and the negative people tell so many more than the positive experience, and it's frustrating for them.
And that's a good point. And we need to remember too, if this was normal and it wasn't COVID, we would still have businesses that were closed getting ready for Memorial Weekend. So, we usually hear that during off season. And I think we're all hyper aware of what's being said right now. But I think it's important because as of now, all of our retail stores should be open. Our people walking up and down Main Street, it shouldn't look much different to them than it did pre-COVID. So, and I think that's what we need to portray, is as much normalcy as we can. Because when they come to Red River, they want this to be their safe place and their happy place and have it be normal. And so, hopefully everybody will be getting opened up this week, and we'll make sure that we stay on top of who is open and try and get that word out. So thank you, Sharon.
Linda?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Hi, good morning. I just opened up today. I had 3 different customers that came in, just irate. One of them, they all left. They said, we're here to dine in. What do you mean you can't serve us? And I said, it's out to go. I'm sorry. And I tried to explain. One man just cussed me out, walked out, threw his arms in the air. A couple of other customers that had families, they said they weren't told that they could not sit and eat somewhere. And I said, well, you can get your order to go to the park, go to your motel. And they said, well, we're here for 4 or 5 days. And I'm not going to tell you which lodges they're staying at, but they weren't told that it's just all takeout. So, as much as we're trying to be nice to the customers and we want them here, they are so upset with everybody. Not everybody, but there's a lot of anger, and it's just sadness, to have that going on. I think she just thought.
And I understand that, Dee, but you know what? At this point, we've been dealing with this since the middle of March, and you kind of have to say, what rock have they been living under if they don't know that restaurants are dining or takeout only? They had to get here from wherever they came from. And it's that way across the entire state of New Mexico.
Yes.
So I think we have to realize that people are upset that things are not the way they want them to be. And they're going to take out that anger on us. And that's where we have to step back and just realize that it's going to be our job to smooth it over and just do everything we can to make them happy. And part of that's probably just going to be letting them vent and listening to them and just, you know, we're sorry, but it is completely out of our hands. If it was in our hands, we would be wide open, but we can't do that yet. So, you know, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. And there are going to be mad people. We had an incident last night that was very ugly that had to get the police involved. So, you know, there are going to be things that happen and we just have to be nice to them. You're muted, Dee. I can't hear you. Whoops. Okay, let me go back to some of these real quick because they're going so fast and furious, and then we'll go back to y'all. Where was I? Okay, I think there was one about, I checked with Deacon. He said owners do count towards the 25% occupancy. Okay, I don't know how we enforce that. So we'll get with Deacon, get some clarity out on that. I know there's a lot of concern about the Facebook page Got Red River. It looks like it's an official Red River page, and it's not. It's people that have lived in Red River before, and there was a website many years ago. And, you know, a lot of the stuff they post is positive and okay. They have a lot of followers, and when they post misinformation, it looks bad on Red River and it looks bad on all of us. So I have contacted the governmental office at Facebook to talk to them a little bit about the problem it causes us to have another Facebook page that is not the official page, looking like an official page. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I would just encourage you that when something gets said in there, if we could just let it go and not engage. And I think by not engaging, it has a tendency to go away faster. Misinformation stop being shared. And I agree, that's if we get nothing else out of this today, if we could just encourage each other, because I know when you get frustrated and somebody posts something on Facebook that's negative or that's not quite correct, and it's so easy to get caught up in the moment, but if you could just step back, and when there's misinformation, call me, call April, call Town Hall, and let's try to get it taken care of as quickly as we can. Masks for tourists who can come. I know the grocery store has them, the visitor center will have them. I'm going to have them. I'm guessing most of the retail stores are going to have them for sale. I see Daniel nodding his head. So I don't think we're going to have any shortage of masks. We're going to have some that we'll be giving out for free, just a little single usage at the visitor center. So if you need to send them somewhere, send them there, and they can get one for a disposable, and then we can get them up and down the street and get them one that they can use. What is the difference between eating on a patio at a restaurant and eating at a picnic table in the park? Great question. And for some reason, public facilities are being handled a little bit differently. So we're trying to make it as easy for our guests as possible within the realm of what we can do. Nothing is different at all. Just like there's nothing different in having 200 people in Walmart and 5 people in Daniel's store. So it's just that right now, we've got to deal with the hand that we're being dealt with and just play it the best we can. And so this is a way that we're hoping to make people a little bit happier by able to have a comfortable place to eat outside. And they can go to Millette Park or Brandenburg Park and not have too far of a walk from any of our restaurants to find a place to sit and eat. There's nothing different about it. Okay, the Emporium. So Kelly has masks at the Emporium. emailing our guests with their confirmation about guidelines in place so they know before they come. And that is key. You know, we have to make sure that we're getting the information out. Most of these people are going to be talking to somebody before they get to town. They're going to be making a reservation. They're going to have some point of contact before they get here. So you guys need to make sure that you're talking to them and telling them what to expect when they get here. Okay, cool. Michael says they've got 6 picnic tables they can make available. Great. If you find misinformation, let us know. We can't stress that enough. You know, we're all in this together. We can't do it by ourselves, but together we can do this. Okay, that's all I'm seeing. Who else? And to be, not to take the state side, but I was told this morning, you know, everybody just needs to read the public health order. Well, you can read it and it still leaves you with a bunch of questions. And so that's why we want to try to make sure that everybody is aware and gets your questions answered.
Linda, this is Chris Yates. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can't hear you.
You had a message up on redriver.org some time ago. Things have obviously changed a bit for the better. Would it be possible for you to put a new message up there with you speaking, giving the current situation? I think that would be a positive step, to welcoming people back to Red River.
Yes, I can certainly do. I'll get with April or Todd, and we'll try to get something up. If not today, just in the next couple of days.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And we have pulled all that information down, Linda. It's off the website right now, so we don't have that up there anymore.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. So Tracy said her audio isn't working. Would you please speak to how you're fighting for us in Santa Fe? So I'm on the mayor's, the governor of mayor's council. There's 16 mayors that she has, and we're meeting with her chief of staff twice a week. We all got pretty frustrated yesterday. There's mayors from the southwestern part of the state, the southeastern part, northeastern. In fact, from all 4 corners, we've got mayors, and everybody is dealing with different issues, and everybody has a different community that has different challenges to face. But we felt like we keep telling them all these ideas and all these suggestions, and then they just kind of fall on deaf ears, because we were under the impression, we had a meeting on Tuesday, and we were told all of the gating, all of the data was really positive. And so we thought when she had that press conference on Wednesday that we were going to go to full-blown stage 1, 50% dine in at our restaurants. And then she came out with what she did, and we were all devastated. So I was on the phone with her chief of staff twice on Wednesday, actually kind of in tears, just like, how can you do this to us? We were prepared. Our restaurants were buying food. We were doing everything we could. And I think they hear us, but I think they're finally beginning to hear our frustration. And it's such a fine line of saying, okay, we're ready to fight it nonstop and threaten lawsuits, and we're not going to do this and we're not going to do that. But I never want to put our community in the position that Grants is in right now. So I'm still of the mindset that we have to follow the regulations. But if she doesn't begin to hear, and what I told John Bingaman this morning is, you need to look at our GRT spikes, because what happens with our GRT and the way we spike in July and August is different from the rest of the state, where their GRT is basically flat until they get to the 4th quarter. And if we can't make it through July, August, and September, then we're not going to make it the rest of the year, because we don't have a 4th quarter going into Christmas to boost us. So, you know, he said to me, I understand that, and you guys are different. Let me take it to her and we'll talk about it. But we just keep hearing it's all about the data. It's all about the data. So, you know, I'm working as hard as I can for you guys, and I get kind of upset with them, and I get real mad at myself when I start to cry when I'm talking to them because I'm so passionate about y'all. But you know, as soon I think that Red River single-handedly got the condo thing changed. So I think that was a huge for us. Ruidoso has the same issue. So it was the mayor of Ruidoso and me that were just pounding them with that and sending emails about that almost every day to get that changed. So we just found that out this morning, and I think that's good. But, you know, if you guys, I'm open to suggestions. Call me. I mean, I guarantee you, I don't have all the answers, and we are better when we're united in numbers, and she needs to be hearing from us. But, you know, if at any point I am sharing a message that you guys don't agree with me, let me know, because I don't know unless you tell me. Okay, does that answer your question?
Linda,
Yes. Who is this?
will you get to a point where you will give the governor a call and talk to her personally?
I'm about there. It's getting closer by the minute. So yeah, I think, you know, what John told me this morning is he's hoping within 8 to 10 days, she comes out with another announcement. And I said, that's really not good enough for us because that kills Memorial Weekend. And that is traditionally the kickoff for summer. I'm gonna see what happens after we've been open at the 25% for all retail stores and kind of watch the numbers. And if things are still staying where they are, then I think I'm gonna call her either this weekend or Monday. But yeah, I mean, and I tell them we are different. Red River is not Albuquerque. We can't sustain if we don't get opened. And I know, you know, but then we have to be sensitive to the fact that as strongly as business owners want to open, there is a group out there that doesn't. And so to those people, I would just say, then stay in where you feel safe. Because, you know, we've got to find a balance. We've got to find a balance, and I don't know how we do it. And but she's pretty strong-headed, and I agree with the way she came out strong at first. But I think we're getting to the point now that it's time to start looking at different things. We've got to. So, can we increase trash cans? I don't know if we have any more. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just have to get with Public Works on this one because I don't think we have any more trash cans. So yes, talking about the different states, that's so confusing that all the states have different guidelines, and especially now since people can come in from Texas and, you know, they can dine in there. And so they get here and they can't, and that's totally frustrating.
Linda.
You know, yes.
Hey, it's Susan.
Hi, Susan.
I came in on this kind of late. You probably already answered it, but I was hoping maybe you would answer again. So are the lodges allowed to rent to out-of-state people?
Yes, hotels and motels and condos can. The
Okay.
only ones that can't rent to out-of-state is short-term rentals. And again, there is absolutely no way to determine at a short-term rental house if it's a resident or a tourist. And I would encourage everyone here to not go up to doors and ask them if they live there or if they're a guest. You know, that's not our business.
Right. Okay, thank you. That was my question.
All right.
Hey,
And
Lynn,
no, yes.
my name is Bill Plummer. Right now I'm in Austin, but we're part owners in a condo at the Woodlands. What constitutes 25% the number of units in a building or the number of people allowed?
Working with Deke, our fire chief, we have decided that it's 25% of the people allowed.
Okay,
Now, that is probably contrary to what you might be told if you called the state, but we felt like that is what worked best for our businesses.
okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
And, you know, I know everybody here watches what's happening in the news, and I'm sure you're aware that there is a big push by the Republican Party, the New Mexico Republican Party, that's headed by Steve Pierce, and they have written a letter to the Attorney General. And so there is a push to work towards that. If this doesn't ease up, within this, we cannot let this drag on for another 8 weeks. We cannot let this drag on for another 2 weeks. When we get to the end of this phase, we have to be open. So I don't know how we do it, but we have to be open.
Okay, how many can be in a group?
Right now, it's 5.
Okay. Those are
Now
my
that-
people a lot of
That would
times.
be non-household members.
Right,
So if you've got a family of 10, you know, you can certainly travel together.
sure, okay.
Linda, this is
Yes.
Daniel Lamb. So unfortunately, I don't think that this is a black or white equation we find ourselves in. There are people like me that are business owners that need to open, but COVID has directly hit us. And people like me with bad lungs, we are risking our lives. So we're trying to find a balanced, equal way forward, that we cannot just throw open the doors and we cannot just close the doors. So I would encourage my neighbors to find a balanced approach forward, that we can do both and keep each other safe at the same time.
I hear you, and that's a very important statement. And you know, the new reality is we are going to be faced with COVID-19 in our lives for a very long time. It's not going away until there's a vaccine. So that's where everybody has to do what's best for them. And if that means that you have to hire somebody else to be the face of your business because it's not safe for you to be in your business, then that's going to have to be the steps that you take. So, you know, we're all going to have to figure out ways to keep ourselves safe. You know, Ted has health issues. So every time I'm out and about, I have to be extra cautious when I come home. And we are not discounting the stories. We know that people are dying, and we know that this is a real virus. But we also know that businesses are dying, and this is a real economic virus that we're battling. So that's why all we can do is ask, you have the virus and I have the virus, and keep ourselves safe. And whatever that means for you, that you're going to have to do that. And some people are going to feel safer and are going to be more out there, and some are going to have to be more the stay at home. But, you know, if you don't hear anything that I said today, besides keeping yourself safe, washing your hands, wearing a mask when you feel comfortable and you feel like you need to, the town is going to partner with the state, but we will not be in the enforcement business. Okay? Who else? And I think everybody has my phone number. It's pretty much out there. My email address is just lcalhoun@redriver.org, 770-0420. You can call me, you can text me. I will do my best to get back to you. I will do my best to get your questions answered, get information to you as quickly as I can. If, you know, please reach out to me with suggestions. I certainly don't have all the answers. I have very few of the answers, and I rely on you guys to help me and to guide me in how we want to see us move forward.
Where will the videos of the Zoom meetings be available? Where?
I think we post those on YouTube. Is that correct, April?
Yeah, and on the town, I think they're on the town website too.
Okay, and that's, the town has a new website, which is redrivernm.gov. So we'll probably post it on that site as opposed to the tourism site. Because to me, this is about us. This is about taking care of us and how we can take care of our tourists. So I think this needs to be on our town site.
And if anybody has issues finding it, give us a call over the conference center and we'll help you. We'll walk you through it.
Okay. Anybody else? I see people are starting to drop off, so I think we've maybe covered all the questions, but did we miss anything? Everybody's going to be kind. Nice. All right. Well, thank you guys. And if this is helpful, if we get to a point that we need to do this again, text me. It's easy to set these up, and we're all kind of used to sitting in front of our computers and looking at the screen all the time. So, we definitely want to make sure that my goal is to make sure that you guys are informed and that we can do everything we can to help you get through this. Okay. All right. Oh, somebody raise their hand. Okay. Gary, go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can.
Good. Okay. It has nothing to do with that. While we have the April and those guys on the thing here with us, I do want to say I just think they're doing a phenomenal job. Truly. More stuff than I actually need. And you got to love a good day like that. Anyway, my question is this, has nothing to do with that. And it doesn't make any sense that it wouldn't be easily found out. A few months back, and actually on one of the websites for the town, somebody came up and asked this question, and I put a like on it, which means I should be able to see if somebody answered it, and it did not, that I know of. Anyway, some months back, the town, and I suppose the position of the town is you guys want the UTVs and the ATVs and all that to be able to be out there on Main Street. Anyway, so some months back, there were people that I saw that had the thing to make signatures on, say yes or no. I went down to City Hall, they had one on the desk. I filled in mine. I never heard, and given I'm in the business, I'm the only year-round tour company in this town. Given I'm in the business, I don't have a clue where that went. That's it.
Okay, I can answer that for you. So that was one of the requirements that the DOT was wanting from us. Just that was part of our application that we had to submit. And then COVID-19 hit. And so they are not meeting right now, and everything is just kind of stalled at the state level. But that application and those surveys, those petitions were all submitted to the state. And so they will take all of that into account when they make the decision as to whether they're going to allow us to let the 4x4s or the OHVs go up and down Main Street. So that's where that is. It's just kind of sitting there right now with everything else.
Okay. Can you hear me still?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great. It's the first time I've done this. Okay, so, but you guys obviously know what the result was. So what was the result? Can we know that?
It was almost split 50-50. It was phenomenal the way it was split. And it was also most of the business owners that were on Red River, that were on Main Street, were for it. And then a lot of the people that live in the residential areas were against it. But it was, I think it was like 17-17. It was almost an exact split.
You only had 34 people who actually
Don't hold me to that. There weren't a lot that signed. I'd have to look, but I do know it was almost exactly even. I don't know how many signed it, but it was even.
Fascinating. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and also one other thing. If you live in town, you're trying to get somewhere when everybody's out, God bless them when they're out, you don't do Main Street. You do the side streets, which of course is where the ATVs and UTVs are at. Anyway, one thing I don't think I see a lot of, and this needs to be addressed, I think, with the police, because, and you don't want to piss anybody off. I mean, God, we love them being here, but every other vehicle out there on the road, they all, including everything I've got, they've all got rear view mirrors, either a really big one like I've got on my Snowcat, or the little things on the left and the right. You're able to see somebody behind you. Literally last year, and I have this happen every single year at least once, somebody's going somewhere. They're not bad people. I don't mean that. They're fine people. They're good. But they're out here. They have an ATV or a UTV that doesn't have any, and you can buy them. You can get them on Amazon, get them on eBay. I did all that. Rear view mirrors, just something you clamp on the side. You're able to see where you're going backwards. And I don't know, I see an awful lot of them. And I don't know if the police, and we should, it's safety. It's a safety thing. If I wound up doing that with, say, my Tur Jeep, I get a lot of bad press. And I have no problem with that. I mean, you don't do that. I don't know if it's a law. It should be made a city rule that whatever's out there on our streets, besides all the idea about the insurance and everything, they need some version of a rearview mirror. That's huge. That's the biggest problem I got with that. Otherwise, I do have a problem, because you got people that inadvertently are not watching where they're going. They're not out in the middle of the woods where, you know, it's fairly safe out there. They're in city streets, and we expect people to know where they're going, know what they're doing, know that they need to look backwards. They don't mean to do that in a mean way, but it's happening.
Okay, well, I will get with Tim. I'm not real sure what the safety requirements are as far as the equipment that have to be on those to be on a street. Tracy probably does, but I don't think her audio is working. But, you know, I know they have to be equipped a certain way before they can be on the street. So I'll check with Tim and see.
You ready?
It's important.
Linda.
Linda, we
Anita.
have, it's Dee. Can you see me? I have another
No.
question.
Okay,
Linda?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I have another question. There's been a couple of comments here and we're all confused, or mainly Dee's confused. I've heard that once we open like 25% on the dining, like for restaurants, does that mean that the restrooms, public restrooms inside our businesses are going to be used? Because I've heard that you are going to put the porta potties and nobody can allowed to use the bathrooms. I'm not sure, so I'm just kind of trying to get some clarification.
You know what? I don't know the answer to that. And the reason we were looking at bringing in the porta potties is because so many places do have their bathrooms closed right now. And so what we were wanting to do was bring in some of the ones, the trailers that actually have the hand washing stations in them, so that people would be able to wash their hands. So,
Okay,
yeah, I don't know. I would think, you know, once it's safe to open the restrooms, then that's just going to kind of be a business to business.
Thank you.
Decision.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anybody else? And I'm seeing where we've taken that that video off. I guess it was still on the website, so it's gone now. And we will get something fresh and welcoming up there. Okay. Last chance. Everybody happy? Everybody got their questions answered? All right. See you guys. Thank you so much.